Hi, Jacqueline Prete here, and we're going to be doing a practice called Toga, yoga for your toes, and then we'll stand up and do some work with balls. So if you have, you can pause this and go find a tennis ball, or if you have the yoga tune-up balls or these hand balls, something nice and a little bit of softness to it, not too hard, and we'll be using that under the feet to open up the feet. So sit up nice and tall, take a nice deep breath in. So this practice is about your foundation, how you interact with Mother Earth. When your foundation is shaky, we end up tripping and falling. We end up not seeing where we need to go next, because we're ahead of ourselves. We're not really in rhythm with our own deep essence. So foundation work in yoga is so important. Let's take a nice deep breath in. And gently open your eyes. So this first practice, we're going to take a block and we're going to place it in front of ourselves and put your ankle on top of the block. Now I've also done this whole practice sitting in a chair. So if it's more comfortable for you, if say your hips are tight, sit in a chair, an upright chair, not a sofa that you're collapsing in. So the first movement is taking your fingers and threading them through your toes. You notice the sole of my foot is touching the sole or the palm of my hand. So we're going to start to move the metatarsal. I keep the lower foot rather stationary and just move the toes and all the bones of the feet, of the upper foot, the forefoot around. Take a nice deep breath in. Long breath out. Kind of relaxing. This is really great. So if you want to get some space between those toes, sometimes it takes about 10 minutes for people to get their fingers in there. So they're so tight. Now we'd like to spread your fingers. Keep the toes spread as you take the fingers away, as best you can. And now we've circled the toe, every toe individually. So in our practice of Anusara Yoga, it's based on 5 universal principles. The first principle is open to grace, and it also has to do with your foundation. That's why we're starting with the foundation. Well, what does open to grace mean? It's opening to the experience of now. Let's take our toes and curl them towards our heels. Get a good stretch all the way up here, all the tendons and muscles that are attached to the front of the shin, and breathe. Open to grace. The grace-filled principle at the core of our being, that grace-filled presence is always present, never absent. But sometimes it gets veiled. So the practice reveals the true essential self at the core of our being. This is the principle, the grace-bestowing principle of Anusara Yoga. So let's take the thumbs, I'm going to take the block away now, and start to massage the base of each toe. Take a breath. As you're doing this, you're going to feel your body starting to warm up. If you studied reflexology or ever had a reflexology session, every part of the foot is associated with one of those internal organs or part of the body. Someone said this one is like your spine. Okay, now take your knuckles and dig into the sole of the foot, the inside edge of the arch, the middle of the arch, and then the outer edge of the arch. And you'll notice I'm not massaging so much on the ball of the foot or the heels. I'm kind of leaving those along. There's fat pads under there, and we want to keep them nice and fluffy. Really dig in. You can feel some speed bumps along the inside of the arch on my foot. Then you're going to take your thumbs and massage the sides of your heel. Get right in there, dig in here, and right into the Achilles. Usually pretty sensitive. Add a breath. Then grab a hold of the shin bone with both hands. Now you want to relax your foot like it's a dish rag and shake it out. Now that took how many minutes was that? That was like 2 or 3 minutes. I'll bring that foot down and bring the other foot next to it and notice the difference. They're different colors. These toes are spread more. You can even feel like this foot got bigger, taking up more space. So let's do the other side. You can bring this leg here, you can take it out to the side, whatever's more comfortable. And I put the block here so I have more access to the foot, right? So again, bring your fingers and toes together. Ooh, I started getting a cramp on this one. And now we're moving, circling those phalanges. That's your toes. And the bones that are the joint between the phalanges and the metatarsal. So that's an MP joint. And getting some movement in there, circulation. Again, I'm starting to get warm, having a hot flash here. I'm way past those hot flashes. Okay, now spread your toes. Spread your fingers. Keep the toes spread. Ah. Good. And then circle and pull. You want to get some movement. What happens, you'll notice as people get older, if you have a grandpa or grandpa around, or you are a grandpa, sometimes you hear them walking down the hallway and they walk like this. Shh. Because their feet don't work anymore. And that makes them more susceptible to falls, which is the most difficult thing about aging, is people falling, breaking legs, breaking hips. Now go ahead and point the toes like this, and really the bottom of your foot might even cramp. You'll notice I'm not sickling the foot like this. It goes straight and sort of open up this whole channel of energy along the front of the foot and the ankle. Okay. All right, I'm going to take the block away. Woo, getting little toe cramps there. Now let's dig in to the base of your toes. Keep your breath moving here. We use the beautiful Ujjayi breath in Asara Yoga during the practice of asana. We address the different layers of consciousness in our yoga practice. The physical practice addresses the food body. This is the food body. I can touch it. You can touch your own food body. The body is made of food. Turns from food into your tissues, your bones, your muscles, skin, brain tissue. Get your knuckles getting in there. So that's the first layer of awareness. The second deeper layer is the pranamaya kosha. Annamaya kosha is the food body. Pranamaya kosha, your breath body. That's why we start with breath. That breath with the sound in the throat. You make the sound both on inhalation and exhalation. Brings awareness and depth to the breath. Creates some heat in the body, so your body warms up. All right, now we're going to squeeze the heel. Deeper to the breath body is the manamaya kosha, and that's the mind layer, and the emotions. Manamaya kosha can be very agitated, can be fantastic and creative and wonderful, and can run amok. So the mind layer, we address the mind layer with the practice of meditation and chanting. Should we chant in the morning? Chant at the beginning of class. Now grab your shin bone and shake, shaky, 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 shaky. Deep to the mind layer is the Vijnanamaya kosha, and that's the wisdom or intuitive layer, right? Now bring both feet together and look at them. Wow! They're more vibrant and more energized. Okay, we're going to come up to standing. We're going to use our ball now to massage the base of the foot. This will make even more energy. This is a great warm-up, by the way. Whole body warm-up by just working on the feet. So we're going to stand up. I'm going to put the ball on my sticky mat so it doesn't fly around the room. And I'm going to stand on the ball, but I'm not going to put the ball of the foot on the ball. I'm going to put just behind the ball of the foot, the top of the arch, and I keep the heel on the floor and do this pivoting action from the little toe towards the big toe. You can go a little slower, but again, I'm not on the ball of the foot, I'm just south of it. And use your beautiful Ujjayi breath to move some energy. And if we find a really good juicy spot, which I just found, I'm going to dig in there, hang in there, wiggle around it a little bit. I can feel this all the way up into my knee. Then I'm scooting my heel closer and closer to the ball. So this ball work helps that fascia. If you've ever had plantar fasciitis, what happens is plantar fasciitis, the fascia pulls away from the bone. And especially when you wake up in the morning, first thing you put the feet on the floor and they're screaming. It's so painful. And it's hard to be barefoot. And this is one of the ways we heal plantar fasciitis. A little therapeutics for your feet, your ankles. If you have ankle issues, scoochie the ball closer to the heel. Now I'm getting to a really juicy spot here. I'm going to hang in there and I'm going to dig in a little bit because that foot is going, yeah, do it, do it. Now, if it's so sensitive you can't put much pressure on it, back off, no problem. Okay, now I'm going to lift the heel and kind of dig into that area right in front of the heel. Sometimes it's good just to lift up, dig in there, inner arch, middle arch, outer arch. There's the lateral arch, the medial arch, and the transverse arch. And just dig around, see if you've missed any spots. Oh, I got a good spot. Then stop for a moment, spread your toes, feet parallel, and close your eyes. Feel the difference between the right and left side. I can feel it all the way into my lower back. We learned that the fascia is connected. The foot fascia connected to the calf fascia, to the hamstring fascia, up your back, all the way around the spine, up your neck, all the way to your eyebrows. So you release your foot and you're going to feel it all along the spine. Let's do the other side. Here we go. Toga. Yoga for your toes. Yoga for your feet. Now again, going little toe to big toe. This is kind of flushing the foot out. Whatever needs to go. Increasing circulation. And it also increases sensitivity. So the foot feels more sentient afterwards. Can really feel the earth. And scoochie that heel in. Are you breathing? I'm just going to zip this along on this side. Please feel free to take more time if you need to. We're just scooting that heel in closer. Digging in. Right in front of the heel is always a good spot. And then dig in there. Forward and back. And you got groove. That's a good spot right there. Excellent. Like I said, feel free to spend a little more time on one side, the side that maybe needs more exercise, more sensation, more movement. And then bring both feet next to each other. Take a moment, spread your toes and close your eyes. Can you feel like the feet are more awake and alive now? Nice deep breath in and long breath out. We're going to do a little strengthening for the feet and then we'll move on, do some different videos for you. This will kind of take us home here. I'm going to put a block between my calves. And some people have a lot of trouble with balance, so working the feet first and then doing the balance work is very helpful. So you can put your hands here or out to the side. You want to lift up, keep the toes heavy and try to lift up and hold at the top and then lower back down. Up and hold it and lower back down. And hold it. I like to go up slowly and see if you can get really high up on those feet. This strengthens your arches. Come on, foot. I have to actually think of sending signals to the toes. Keep you heavy, heavy, heavy toes, heavy toes, heavy toes, heavy toes, heavy toes. Whoa! And then you come back down. Up and hold it and release. You can do several sets of this. We're going to do a set about 10. And we'll take a little break. But you can do many, many, many of these. I usually do a couple sets of 10 a day, sometimes more if I teach a couple classes, and then maybe a couple sets of, maybe 4 sets of 10. Wow! One more. Really strengthen the muscles above the knees and release. Now come into a squat, like a chair pose. Knees coming forward, sit bones back. Put your fingers at the front of your hips and deepen the hip crease. So the fingers disappear into your hips. And then come upright. You see the fingers come out? Let's do that a couple of times. Thighs way back. And come back up and back. Creasing at the hip, butt back, knees slightly forward. Push down to come up. One more time. Down and up. One more thing to show you, and then we're going to go into another video. You can do these to strengthen your legs. You can put the block between your inner thighs, and this is called a wall sit. Now these you can do timed, right? So let's do a whole minute here, and then you're free to do 2 or 3 more minutes like that on your own. So I'm going to time us now. So you squeeze your block. I'm above my knees because I have a little knee issue, but you can go level to the knees, not too low, right? Push your feet into the floor and breathe. Bring your shoulders and head back. I'm going to scoot down another inch or 2. Push your feet into the floor. Lift these muscles up towards your pelvis. This is the principle we call muscular energy, right? So you're drawing the muscles onto the bone and you're pulling the whole thigh bone into the hip socket. Your pelvis is pushing back into the wall. You have a nice curve in your lower back. It goes in. You're almost there. You got 20 more seconds. Hold steady. You feel a sensation in the quads. Even the hamstrings push down through your feet, your glutes. We have 10 more seconds. You guys are doing great. Big breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come on up. Now I suggest you do a couple more of those, right? Do a little timing, put your little timer on, do a couple of those. All right, let's come back to standing, and we're going to go from this video to the second video, which has to do with strengthening and opening up the calves and strengthening your feet. So have a beautiful day, and join us again for the next video.